Hi guys, welcome to my May TBR. Now, as you can see, it's done somewhere differently. The kids are at school, so I thought I'd finally get to record in one of my favourite reading places, my living room. This is somewhere where I love to get cosy and read my books in the peace and quiet when either the kids are in bed or they're at school. Now, this is the month my daughter turns 7, so it's going to be quite a fun month ahead. But I'm also, on a more serious note, going to be reading books about mental health for the May Mental Health Readers Run, which is hosted by Nicole, which is from A Beautiful Chaos. I'll link her channel below. Now, this is going to be quite challenging for me because I have anxiety issues and depression, so there are going to be, I think what I'm going to do is mix up some of the deeper and darker books with some light-hearted chick lit, just to keep me going and stop me getting too down. But I'm going to tell you about the books I'm going to be reading. I won't go into too much description, purely and simply because I like the excitement of not knowing exactly what I'm going to be seeing in the books. Like we all. A lot of my books are bought from charity shops, so I'll let you know as I'm going along. Anyway, let's tackle the first one. This is Mad Girl by Bryony Gordon. This is my memoir book. It also tackles OCD, depression. She tackles bulimia, alopecia, drug dependency. Quite a lot of dark issues, but I have been told that there are some funny bits in it. She also name drops a bit, according to Charlie, so I'm looking forward to finding out what it's about. But that's the first book I'm definitely going to be reading. Now, these aren't in any particular order, by the way. This one, I'm buddy reading with Charlie, from Charlie Brooks. Now, this is a classic. It's a more modern classic because it's set in the 1930s. It's set in the Deep South, and it will tackle race and class. It looks quite deep again, but it's not too long a book, so we'll do it gradually. But I look forward to reading this. Saw this in a charity shop and had to pick it up. Charlie had mentioned it, so it's got to be good. Now, the next one we've all heard about again. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. A total coming-of-age book. Now, this is going to be tackling some other issues in the mental health readathon. I believe it's tackling suicide, anxiety, and many more. But you'll find out more in my video based on the mental health readathon. This is a coming-of-age book, so I really can't wait. Yes, it's based in America, so I don't know how much I'll know and understand about it, but it looks so much fun. I also like that it's not too big, so it shouldn't take too long to get through. Let's see how I go on it, though. I'll tell you guys after. This is my first chick lit that I'm going to be showing you, The Longest Ride. Now, Charlie gave me this a few months ago when we did our first video together, and she said that it's a slow burner. It's one that will gradually build up and get better, but to keep going on it. So I'm reading it with Bailey from Bailey's Books Barrels. She's a great friend of mine, and I literally love her to pieces, girl. So hiya. And it's going to be something we're going to buddy read together in a few weeks. It's the tale of two different couples, but one romance. So I can't wait to read it. I'm really excited. Now, the next one is, again, a bit of a deeper one. The Tattooist of Auschwitz. I picked this up in my local supermarket. It jumped out of me. Now, I read The Diary of Anne Frank a long time ago. That was one of my first books I actually read. So to me, the concentration camps and the war have always been something of interest. I like to hear about some of the things that happened in it, not because of any weird sense of thing, but I find it quite interesting. Now, this, I believe, is quite a true-to-life story, and it's about the guy who actually tattooed the people that were going to be survivors. He fell in love with one of them, and I can't wait to hear a lot more about this. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of trauma. It's going to be quite dark. And I'm buddy reading it with Kieran, so from Kier Reads. It's going to be fun because I love buddy reading with him. He's such a lovely guy. I know I've got a lot of friends in the book community. But if any of the rest of you want to buddy read it with us, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinion on this book. But yeah, I know it's going to be not the easiest and lightest of reads. So fingers crossed. Now, this one is one I bought myself. Actually, I got it for Mother's Day from my gorgeous partner, Chris. Lisa Evans, as you well know, is another author that I've absolutely loved. I read her first book a few months ago, and she's amazing. It's set in the wartime again, and one of the original suffragettes, Mattie, she basically became the guardian of this little boy, and I believe she died, but the boy in this book, Noel Bastock, is evacuated. Now, we all know that the kids got evacuated sort of face different things, but this guy, according to the back of this, he gets put with a lady called Vera Slade, who is a bit of a naughty one. She's drowning in debts, She gets up to quite a lot of stuff. So is he safe? Is he going to be okay? I really hope so. Now, Lisa Evans recommended me try this book because it kind of links on to her last book about the suffragettes. So I can't wait to hear about how that might link on and whether he mentions his previous guardian, Mattie, and whether we find out a bit more. So I can't wait to read this. Check out Lisa Evans' work, by the way. She's absolutely amazing. Now, this next one, Dear Mrs. Bird, that was my other Mother's Day present from Chris. Now, my lovely, lovely friend Julie from Hungry Bookworm had talked about this book. I think she picked it up at first, and I was like, I might have a look at this. And I checked it out on Goodreads. Now, the Goodreads rating for this is quite good, so I was desperate to pick it up. And when I did, I said, Julie, do you fancy buddy reading? And she's saved this book for me. So she has saved reading it for me, which I thought was really lovely of her. And I can't wait to read it together. Now, on the back, it basically talks about, this is another one that's set in the wartime. And the lady called Emmeline Lake, according to this, she wants to become a fearless war correspondent, but she ends up being the secretary to an agony aunt. And this agony aunt doesn't really want to answer the letters, doesn't really want to take part in it. So Emmy then gets off her bum and she does the replies. And it apparently causes all sense of chaos. So I can't wait to read this. It looks a little bit lighter than some of the other books, so it should hopefully break it up. But I'm also looking forward to doing my first buddy read with Julie. She's another amazing friend. We chat on WhatsApp quite a lot, and I'm going to be meeting her in June, so yay! So excited. Now the next one is yet again another deep and dark one, The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. Now, I'm buddy reading this with Clint and Charlie. Now, again, it's set in Afghanistan. It's kind of along the sort of lines of A Thousand Splendid Suns, which you know I've already in April. So it looks like it's going to be tackling a lot more war issues. But I think it seems like it's on this sort of tale of the male side, as the boy in this, he wants to be a kite, right? He wants to fly his kites and win some competitions. And then something happens that completely and utterly changes that. And it leads them down quite dark routes. So I'm interested to hear about what I think of this. Guys, if you've got any views on it, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear. But I'm hoping it's not going to be quite as dark as A Thousand Splendid Suns, because that was really sort of quite challenging in certain areas, although I loved it. But again, another book by another author that I've loved. So I am looking forward to reading it. I'm reading it again with Charlie. It's my second buddy read of the month with her. I've got 5 this month. Am I mad? Yes, we all know I am. And now, this is my library book, The Fine Acts of Shakespeare. You all know I love historical fiction. Julie, you're a big part of that. Now, this is a Tudor history book. It's historical fiction. It is purely fiction from what I've told. Now, William Shakespeare has fought out of retirement by James the First. I think he's James First, let's have a look. And he has got a reign of terror. Now William decides to do something a bit different. He writes about a play about Henry VII. Now he wouldn't dare have done that in the Elizabeth I era, because that was her grandfather. But he does. And it's risky because there are spies around. It could be very dangerous. Now this is a bit longer. I actually plan to kind of read this first because I've got to give it back to the library and I really want to sort of go for it. As you all know, I do love reading my library books. I love picking up random ones. This one, because it had Shakespeare in it, I thought, well, got to pick it up. But yeah, so this one might be one of the first ones I read. But I look forward to it. Now I've got a couple of chick lit books that I'm going to interlink throughout the month. The first one is The Making of Us by Lisa Jewell. I don't know too much about it because purely and simply that I picked it up off my shelf and it looks fun. My friend Emma gave this to me, so I look forward to reading it. All I can know is that in a hospice in Bury St Edmunds, a guy called Daniel is slowly fading away. Now his friend Maggie sits with him every day and he tells the story of 3 children who he's never met and have never met each other. They've got 3 very different tales, but how they interlink is going to be quite interesting. They're his legacy apparently, but I'm really looking forward to reading this. It does look a bit chick lit, a bit contemporary, but it also, if it's tackling things like dementia and stuff, to me that's quite hard because my grandmother just recently died in November and she had dementia in the end. and that was quite challenging to feel her fading away. So that may sort of be a bit challenging for me. So I don't know how I'm going to do with that. But it's a Lisa Jewell book, and I'm looking forward to getting back into her books because Emma's given me a load of them. So I can't wait to read this. Now, the final book that I'm going to be talking to you about is A Place Called Here by Cecilia Ahern. I've got several books by her, but I've not read them in a while. Now, this one has got a bit of magical fantasy in it. It's got contemporary, it's chick litty, but it looks really interesting. Now, basically, when one of the sort of main characters, Sandy Short's classmate goes missing in the sort of her teenage years, it sort of leaves an imprint on her life, and she wants to find missing people. Now, someone gets in touch with her about finding someone else, and then eventually this lead character, she disappears, and she goes somewhere that apparently, according to this, she stumbles upon a place far away where no one's been before. Now, I look forward to hearing about this purely and simply because the magic looks like it's going to really sort of mix it up and make it quite interesting. I do like a bit of magical fantasy occasionally. It's not something I'm too into, but how it will interlink with the chick lit side of it and the contemporary side of it, I don't know. But I do look forward to this. Now, guys, I don't know. There is another book that I'm currently reading, so I don't know if it's going to fall over into May because I'm recording this on the Monday, which is the 29th, I believe. So as to whether I will still be reading this in May, but I will review it, and that's after the war's over. But I will put a review on it if I think it's good. I only started reading this today, but I thought I'd show you it briefly because, like I said, it may be in May as well. Now, I will also be reading other children's books at bedtime, but I don't really want to include them in my TBR because I don't want to rush my bedtime books, and I don't want to rush any of these books in general. Last month I read a lot of books, and I've heard that buddy reading does make you sort of read books quicker, and I've got 5 buddy reads. I've counted 5 this month, which is a bit mad. Now, guys, what books are you going to be reading in May? Have you got any TBRs? I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear what you think of the books that I'm reading. I love your opinion, guys. It's so important to me. So have a good reading month. Comment below. If you like this video, press the like button. If you want to subscribe to me, press the ding-a-ling bell. I love reading. I love this channel, and I love all of you guys. So have a good month and have a good day in general. Bye-bye.